to another episode of Daydreaming in the Garden. Thank you so much for being here today as we break down another hard to swallow topic. Not only because it supports my channel, but because it is supporting you in your healing journey. Thank you so much for choosing you and choosing to put you and your mental health and emotional well-being first. And most of all, thank you for choosing me to take the journey with you, because it is truly an honor. For those of you who just so happen to wander up on my channel while strolling your favorite app, let me introduce myself and explain what this beautiful community and I come together and do. My name is Pritchard, and I am a trauma survivor. Even though the internet will refer to me as a mental health or wellness creator, I prefer healing advocate. Throughout my years on this earth, I have endured countless trials and tribulations and shed many tears and witnessed many triumphs. And as I come out of a relationship, I realized that life can be tough and healing can be scary and uncomfortable journey that shouldn't be taken alone. Daydreaming in the Garden is a safe space dedicated to healing, self-love, and resilience. I know many of us have heard the age-old tall tale of what happens in this house stays in this house, but here at Daydreaming in the Garden, what happens in those houses will be told. So here is where we go through those houses and unpack those dusty, overstuffed closets and talk about life's trauma and how it shapes us mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. We lift up those rugs that seem to have everything swept under them and open up windows and let in air. This is a safe space of healing, self-discovery, and peace. And thank you again so much for being here as we grow together. One video, one revelation, and one daydream at a time. Motherhood is often celebrated as a time of joy and fulfillment, but for millions of women, it can also bring significant emotional and mental challenges. Today, we're here taking a deep dive into prepartum and postpartum depression, something that is vaguely discussed and highly misunderstood or talked about, especially within the melanated community. Today, I want to bring true awareness to the depth of it all and help people to understand how hard something like this truly can be on women, understanding how these conditions affect the mind, body, and brain, and why it's crucial to provide support and understanding. This episode will be broken up into 6 segments, each providing resources and advice on how prepartum and postpartum depression affect women. The first segment, we will be defining the shadows. What are prepartum and postpartum depression? Perinatal depression, also known as prepartum depression, occurs during pregnancy. It's marked by persistent sadness, mood swings, and difficulty coping with daily life. Postpartum depression, on the other hand, occurs after childbirth and often includes symptoms like difficulty bonding with the baby, hopelessness, and severe fatigue, which we will go more in depth throughout this episode. Now, pre- and postpartum depression are different from the baby blues, which is something up to 85% of all new mothers experience. And I'm sure you're wondering, well, poor chap, what the heck is baby blues? Well, my resilient daydreamer, it is a short-lasting condition that does not interfere with daily activities and does not require medical attention. Symptoms of this emotional condition may include crying for no reason, irritability, restlessness, and anxiety. These symptoms last a week or two and generally resolve on their own without treatment. Now, I looked at a few articles and found 2 that I felt summed all of this up very well. The first one is a scholarly article published in April of 2021 titled Psychiatric Conditions During Pregnancy and Postpartum in a Universally Insured American Population. I'm going to post a screenshot of the article in heading here to also give credit to those doctors and researchers for all their hard work. In this article, it reports that the results that the research conducted for this article concluded that out of 104,866 women, 35%, or approximately 36,192 of those women were diagnosed with a psychiatric condition during pregnancy or within 1 year of delivery. This research also concluded that the African American race, active duty, and severe maternal morbidity were significantly associated with the occurrence of psychiatric conditions within 1 year of delivery. which means that prepartum and postpartum depression affects just about any pregnancy in more than one way. And to me, it doesn't matter. The color of your skin, the ethnicity, how much money you or your family has. Pregnancy is hard on the mother and the father. And I will be doing a segment in this episode on how pre- and postpartum depression affects the alternate parent. But let me get this out the way now before I do forget. I always forget to do this with y'all, and I don't know why. And it's one of those rights as a YouTuber. If you are enjoying my content, please feel free to like, subscribe, and, follow along to get notifications of my newest uploads so you don't miss out on anything. Your support and interaction with my channel is greatly appreciated. And I can't thank you guys enough. Y'all are great. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And as of now, we are almost at 50. For me here, and I just want to say that we have reached 50 followers. We are currently at 51 at the time of me editing this video. So I just want to thank everyone for all of your likes, comments, subscribes, encouragement, motivation. I'm really with it, y'all. It's not a lot in the YouTube world, but for me, it is everything. It's everything. Thank you so much. I love all of you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here and showing this channel so much love and helping it thrive as it has, because I can't put in words how much I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Anywho, the second article is from the American Psychiatry Association, titled "What is Perinatal Depression?" And personally, I like to call it pregnancy depression. But it says that perinatal depression is a serious but treatable medical illness involving feelings of extreme sadness, indifference, and/or anxiety, as well as changes in energy, sleep, and appetite. It carries risk for the mother and child, and an estimated 1 in 7 women experience perinatal depression. And I'm be honest, I'm going to read most of the information I received from this source word for word because I see no need to alter it in any way. I will link the website in the description so you can take a look at it in your own. But let's remember that this isn't just something that is all in your head. It is actual medical illness that involves interference from a medical professional. So please do not take this situation lightly or feel as though something is wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. Everything you're going through is completely natural and absolutely normal. This article goes on to say that for most pregnant and postpartum individuals, having a baby is a very exciting, joyous, and often anxious time. But for people with perinatal depression, it can become very distressing and difficult. Pregnancy and the period after delivery can be a particularly vulnerable time. Mothers often experience biological, emotional, financial, and social changes during this time. Some individuals can be at an increased risk for developing mental health issues, particularly depression and anxiety, which means that life is stressful while also acclimating to your new role as a mother. And if you already have a child or children, the extra responsibility of an additional child can be stressful regardless. Then we have to remember your body and mind in itself is battling a lot internally with all the changes that have happened on top of the ones it is currently going through. Give yourself or your partner grace, compassion, and understanding during this time. The article went on to mention a few statistics as well as stating that an estimated 10 to 15% of white women experience postpartum depression, and estimates for women of other racial ethnic backgrounds are higher. But basically, this means that women from diverse backgrounds in certain communities and those that face discrimination, such as healthcare, more than likely racial discrimination or financial discrimination, have a higher percentage than women who experience postpartum and prepartum depression. Now, I lied. I actually looked at 3 sources and wanted to point out one more thing I feel I didn't speak on, and that's this. ClevelandClinic.org has an article titled Prenatal Depression that has a section that is titled Who Might Get Prenatal Depression. And this is what they had to say. Anyone can get prenatal depression. You're more likely to have this condition if you or your family members have a history of anxiety disorders, panic disorders, or any mental illnesses, including OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, and mood disorders such as depression. Prenatal depression is more common among people who are carrying a child with a health problem or special need, are dealing with stressful life events. These could include divorce, health problems, financial issues, or trouble at work, are expecting twins or triplets, didn't plan to become pregnant, don't have a supportive partner or network of friends and family during pregnancy, or had trouble getting pregnant due to infertility. And besides those limited examples, let me say that these situations, like women who are battling addiction of any kind, women who are battling body images or have ED, women who are stressed about uncertainty of the father, women who have lost a child, may it be through miscarriage or abortion, or one that lived on this earth and then unfortunately passed on. And unfortunately, this list of situational circumstances can go on and be very extensive, but I wanted to throw this in there just because I know it may seem obvious to some people, but it doesn't matter. I'm here to inform you guys in any way I can. And honestly most women will have or have had prepartum or postpartum depression. This is just a part of the birthing process to me, and pregnancy is so difficult, and that's why in this next segment we will discuss the hormonal storm. Now, we all know pregnancy and childbirth bring some of the most dramatic hormonal changes a woman's body will ever experience. I personally took my ex-husband and my dad through the ringer. Do you hear me? They come with weird cravings and mood swings from another world, but that's because during pregnancy, estrogen and progesterone levels rise sharply. And for those that don't know, estrogen is a hormone that helps develop and maintain female sex characteristics and plays a role in reproductive health, while progesterone is a hormone that plays a key role in the menstrual cycle, pregnancy, and other reproductive functions. It's produced in the ovaries, adrenal glands, and placenta, and sometimes these can rise up to 10 times higher than normal hormones. Hormones are essential for maintaining pregnancy and preparing the body for childbirth. And Healthline.com has an article titled, "What Bodily Changes Can You Expect During Pregnancy?" that states, estrogen and progesterone are the chief pregnancy hormones. A woman will produce more estrogen during one pregnancy than throughout her entire life when not pregnant. The increase in estrogen during pregnancy enables the uterus and placenta to improve vascularization, the formation of blood vessels, transfers nutrients, and supports the developing baby. However, within 24 hours of giving birth, both estrogen and progesterone levels drop dramatically, returning to pre-pregnancy levels almost immediately. This sudden shift can trigger changes in mood and energy levels, making women more vulnerable to depression. And to be honest, that's insane when you really sit back and think about it. Like, let me think of a good comparison. Like, imagine when you get drunk and all of a sudden the room starts spinning out of nowhere and you just throw up right then. I would imagine that's a good comparison. It's a big change that your body cannot acclimate to right on the spot. So you have to remember that another key player is cortisol, the stress hormone. During pregnancy, cortisol levels rise naturally to support the baby's growth and prepare the body for labor. After delivery, cortisol levels drop instantly and go back to the before baby levels, and this can contribute to feelings of exhaustion, irritability, and emotional instability. And like I keep saying, pregnancy is just hard, man. It's hard on the body. I remember my daughter just crying one day. Just crying, and I could not figure out why. I just sat there and burst out crying with her. And to be honest, you're never really the same after that first kid, and really every pregnancy changes you permanently in some way, in my opinion. Not in like a bad way, but an odd way. Like, I hate neck bones now. I used to love neck bones, can't eat them anymore. Or the fact that I never cramped before my first pregnancy with my daughter, and every pregnancy after that they've gotten worse. Or the fact I really like chocolate now and never did. Like, there's just little subtle changes that happen. I really want to say the hormonal changes the body and mind goes through plays a big part in that. And speaking of mind, this next segment will focus on pregnancy brain, or a more official title, Rewiring the Brain for Motherhood. Pregnancy doesn't just change the body, it reshapes the brain. Studies using MRI scans have revealed that pregnant women experience a reduction in gray matter volume, especially in regions associated with emotional regulation and social cognition, like the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala. Now, for those of us who don't know what gray matter in the brain is or what it even does, let me explain real quick without boring you with a whole bunch of science or confusing either of us with a whole bunch of big words that I will slaughter trying to pronounce. Wikipedia explains it like this. Gray matter, or gray matter in English, is a major component of the central nervous system consisting of neuronal cell bodies, neuropil, and a whole bunch of really big words I refuse to attempt. But down in the function section, it goes on to say that gray matter contains most of the brain's neuronal cell bodies. The gray matter includes regions of the brain involved in muscle control and sensory perception, such as seeing and hearing, memory, emotion, speech, decision making, and self-control. And all this is thought to be an adaptive process, making mothers more attuned to their baby's needs. But for some women, these changes can also increase vulnerability to mood disorders. Research also shows that women with postpartum depression exhibit disrupted connectivity between brain regions like the anterior cingulate cortex and the amygdala. This disruption affects emotional regulation, making it harder to cope with stress and anxiety. And again, because yes, I tell y'all all the time, we are learning together. But anywho, for those of us who don't know what an anterior cingulate cortex is, it is a part of the brain that plays a role in many behaviors, including cognition, emotion, and motor control. And the amygdala, as all my avid daydreamers know, is the part of the brain associated with controlling behavior and memory. Yes, good job. Now imagine having troubles controlling cognition, emotion, motor control, behavior, and memory. Yes, you are going through something serious. And if you are watching this to understand what your partner is going through, yes, they are having a tough time adjusting to life right now, and not just because of the baby. The brain is not at all your self-innocence, and it won't be again. She is relearning herself. You, mother, carrying the child, you are relearning yourself. And to be honest, you're not even just relearning yourself. You're learning to be a completely different person. Whether it's your first kid or your 15th, your mind, body, spirit, and livelihood are not and will not be the same. Grace, compassion, time, and even professional help are needed in this moment, and that is completely okay. Sit down with your partner, explain what's going on, show them this video. If you need to, help them better understand. And if it's just you, I'm so sorry you are going through this alone, and I truly hope this video helps you better understand the things you are going through during this such an amazing yet difficult path in your life journey. Remember, you are loved, you are wanted, you are beautiful, and you will be an amazing mother. Now, sorry to leave that last segment like that, but I genuinely want everyone watching this to know I am here to help, here to guide however I can and educate in any way possible. I know pregnancy is a difficult yet joyous situation, but for all of it, it is only difficult, stressful, and in some eyes, a nightmare. I went through so much with my pregnancies. I've been pregnant 3 times, and my first pregnancy with my daughter was amazing. My husband at the time, did his best, and I appreciate and salute him for everything he did and does for our daughter. But when I got pregnant with her, I was battling addiction. I was battling an unhealed soul and the trauma of the ongoing relationship I had with my mother. I was stressed out about multiple things, and many of it was, will I be a good enough mom? Am I ready to do this? And to anyone asking themselves those questions, you will and you are. Pregnancy can take you to some dark places that are never talked about, but we talk about them here. And to be honest, it was a lot of me mentally and physically. I was always sick. My morning sickness lasted my whole pregnancy. I was battling addiction, as I said. So withdrawals and even a relapse were a thing. I beat myself up when I relapsed and genuinely had thoughts of suicide because of it. My teeth stayed literally crumbling out of my mouth because I was so depressed. I stopped taking my prenatal vitamins, and it takes a lot of energy, nutrients to make a baby. Your body becomes fragile. I'm not trying to scare anyone, but I am telling you my story and my experience. But the symptoms of postpartum and prepartum depression go far beyond sadness. Physically, many women report severe fatigue, changes in appetite, and chronic insomnia. Emotionally, they may feel overwhelmed by guilt, shame, or even a sense of detachment from their baby. For some women, these symptoms include intrusive thoughts of fears, harming themselves or their child. While these experiences are terrifying, it's important to know that they are more common than most people realize. The Cleveland Clinic had an article titled Prenatal Depression that says everyone feels sad, anxious, or worried occasionally. It's normal to feel this way sometimes, especially during pregnancy, but depression symptoms don't go away after a few days. They can last for weeks or months. They can worsen over time. Symptoms of depression during pregnancy include anxiety, excessive worrying, and irrational thoughts, changes in appetite, and unexplained weight loss or weight gain not due to pregnancy, decreased interest in activities you once enjoyed, or withdrawing from friends, family, and social interactions, fatigue, sleeping more than usual, or difficulty getting to sleep or staying asleep, insomnia, feelings of sadness, hopelessness, numbness, emptiness, or guilt, irritability, excessive crying, or motherhood, or other mood changes or mood swings, loss of interest in sex, and difficulty connecting with your partner. Physical symptoms that don't result from a health condition or other causes. They may include headaches, muscle aches, or gastrointestinal problems, GI. Problems concentrating, remembering things, reasoning, or making decisions. And if you are experiencing any of these, it is completely normal and okay. Sit down with your partner and consider your options and resources. I will provide some at the end of this video and description of this video to help anyone who doesn't know where to start but is seeking the help. If you are going through your pregnancy alone, please remember you are loved, you are wanted, and you will be an amazing mother. And I am sorry that you have to go through such an amazing yet difficult time by yourself. Now that we have covered mommy and how pregnancy affects her, let's cover how it affects those around her, i.e. the partner and the baby. Maternal depression doesn't just affect mothers, it can affect those around you as well. HealthyChildren.org has an article titled Perinatal Depression in Partners. Can both parents get the baby blues? And within it is a section titled New Perspectives on Postpartum Depression that reads, this happy time can be a watershed moment for you and your partner. Maybe you've been happier together, but you've also never faced a transition quite like this one. Perhaps this is why new research studies are revealing that spouses and partners can develop depression just as easily as their pregnant counterparts. For example, a broad look across research studies shows that between 7% and 9% of new fathers develop postpartum depression. Researchers say that depressed dads are often hard on themselves, suffering from deep doubts about their parenting abilities. Symptoms such as irritability, anger, and aggression are common. Depressed fathers may fail to offer adequate support for birth partners and even discourage them from breastfeeding. Now, I want to add a side note after reading that and say that although these can be signs of depression within an expecting father, please do not deal with abuse or mistreatment in any attempt to understand their perspective. You do not deserve to be mistreated, especially while carrying their child. But now that I have said that, back to the information. There's also a site called pregnancy-birth-baby.org. It has a section titled What Can Cause Depression in New Fathers that states, as with all forms of depression, there's a range of physical, social, and emotional factors that can contribute to men developing depression. A lack of social and emotional support, stress and changes in your relationship, like the pregnancy, a lack of sleep, loss and grief issues, difficulty adjusting to the parenthood, meeting expectations, a negative or traumatic birth experience. Some men find that the changes to their home life and family structure are difficult to cope with. Traditional attitudes towards fatherhood and masculinity can mean that men are less likely to talk about how they feel. Worries about extra responsibilities, financial stresses, managing work can also have an effect. They also have a section titled Risk Factors of Paternal Depression that reads, some of the known risk factors associated with depression in fathers include a man's partner experiencing postnatal depression, a previous history of depression, relationship problems, low self-esteem, feelings of incompetence in the parenting role, first-time fatherhood, and an unsettled baby. These are all things that you should look out for in your partner or in yourself, if however this is being watched. Paternal depression can affect men of all ages, personality types, and financial statuses. And then it also has a section with a list of symptoms to be aware of that includes some of the symptoms associated with postnatal depression in men, including tiredness, headaches and pain, irritability, anxiety and anger, loss of libido, changes in appetite, feelings of being overwhelmed, out of control, or unable to cope, a tendency to take risks, changes to sleep patterns, especially a lack of sleep, feelings of isolation and disconnection from partners, friends, or family, increased hours of work as a part of the withdrawal from family, and increased use of drugs or alcohol instead of seeking treatment for depression. So if you or your partner are experiencing any of these, please sit down and seek resources and help if you can. And if you cannot, please seek information through those pretty little computers we call our phones. But please know that you are not alone and there are options out there to help you. Now that I probably scared some of you shitless, Let me at least give you some good news. Help is available. Therapy, medication, and support groups have been shown to significantly improve outcomes for mothers with prepartum and postpartum depression. A few that I have found are the National Maternal Mental Health Hotline, which you can call or text 24/7 for confidential support specifically aimed to help pregnant women. There is also the National Alliance on Mental Illness, which you can call at 1-800-950-6264 or text helpline to 62640, and even email them. They, however, are not 24/7, but they have hours Monday through Friday 10 to 10. But their hours are Monday through Friday 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. One that I will always recommend is 988 Suicide and Crisis Hotline, which is 24/7, and you can call or text at any time for immediate mental support. And last but not least, the Postpartum Support International Hotline you can call or text, and I will be linking all of these sites down in the discrimination video for anyone needing it. But overall, the most important thing to remember is that you are not alone. We need to break the stigma. Depression is not a sign of weakness or failure. It's a medical condition that deserves compassion and care. Motherhood is a journey filled with challenges and triumphs. If you're struggling now, know that you are not alone. There is help and there is healing. Partners, family members, and friends can play a crucial role by offering empathy, practical support, and encouragement. If they cannot, please reach out to resources to find a support system that can help you in such a vulnerable time. Thank you for joining me today. Together, let's continue to support and uplift mothers everywhere. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to help spread awareness about maternal mental health and healing as a whole, as that is what my channel is dedicated to. And if you need support, contact a mental health professional, or please visit a local resource center, or feel free to contact any of the resources I have provided within this video. Thank you so much again for joining me, and I send you nothing but strength, love, peace, and prosperity on your healing journey, Jay. And until next time, Daydreamer.